All right, so get ready to dive into a world where history and, you guessed it, Lego collide.
Lego and history.
Yeah. Like today's deep dive, it's taking us to the battlefields of My Bricks in War, which is a blog, by the way.
Okay, a blog. What's it about?
It's all about Lego military creations.
Lego military creations, huh?
Yeah, but hold on. Before you picture like just basic toy soldiers, we're talking crazy detail here. They're recreating actual historical events.
Like what kind of events are we talking?
Think like D-Day dioramas, right?
Yeah.
Or miniature models of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Serious stuff.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. It's cool how they're taking something as, playful as Lego and using it to recreate such heavy historical moments.
I know, right? It's not just about like snapping bricks together. This is about recreating battles and showcasing like super iconic military vehicles and weapons and stuff.
Yeah, I get you.
Like, for example, right? There's this post on the blog, and it's a crazy detailed recreation of the Normandy landings.
The Normandy landings, wow.
Yeah. It was for the 76th anniversary of D-Day. The dude painstakingly put together like hundreds of Lego pieces to show the beaches, the landing crafts, even the German defenses on the cliffs.
It's amazing how much detail they can fit into such a small scale, I've always felt like for a lot of people, when you actually build something like a physical representation of history, it makes it way more real.
Oh, totally. And you can see in the blog how dedicated to accuracy they are. Like, okay, check this out. There's this post about the author's Brickmania Christmas Haul.
Okay, Brickmania Christmas Haul.
Yeah, so side note, can we talk about what a dream Christmas haul that would be for a sec?
Yeah, that does sound kind of epic. What's Brickmania?
Oh, sorry. It's a company that makes like custom Lego military kits and accessories. Super detailed stuff.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So what about the Christmas haul?
Okay, so the author is unboxing all this incredible Brickmania stuff, right? And they actually catch a mistake they made in a previous post.
What, like they messed up the build or something?
No, they misidentified a weapon detail on one of the models. And they totally own up to it. They even go as far as specifying the right rifle types and the actual ammunition manufacturers. Like, that's dedication.
It just goes to show the depth of knowledge in this hobby, It's not just kids playing with Legos. These folks are seriously into military history.
Totally. And I feel like it also shows respect,
Yeah.
For the history and the people involved.
Absolutely. They're handling this subject matter with care. It's not just toys to them. They're like miniature historical artifacts.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of the community, one thing that really stuck out to me about My Bricks in War was how collaborative it is. Like, the author is always giving shout-outs to other creators.
Oh, really? Like who?
Yeah, like Clone Trooper I-39 and Eclipse Graphics. These guys design custom Lego parts and modifications and stuff.
That's really cool. It reminds me of how, like, historians collaborate on research and stuff. They're all passionate about the same thing, even if it seems kind of niche,
Right. And it's not just sharing parts. They share their ingenuity, too. Like, there's this post called Easy to Create Brick Arms Modification. Brick Arms is another company, by the way. They make those crazy detailed Lego weapons.
Okay, so what about the modification?
The author shows you how to turn one Brick Arms weapon into a completely different one, just using a few extra pieces.
Whoa, that's so creative. It's like they're combining engineering and art with history.
Right. And they're limited by the materials, obviously, because it's still Lego.
Yeah.
But they find these crazy creative workarounds. Like, there's this one where they turn a standard Brick Arms machine gun into a whole other type of gun, just with a couple extra pieces. It's nuts.
That's impressive. They're pushing the boundaries of what you can do with Lego. It's like they're, those old school Lego guys, right? But instead of spaceships, it's historical weapons.
Totally. It's like they're taking these like pre-made parts, like the bricks, those specialized weapons, and turning it into like a puzzle, to solve these design challenges. Yeah. Just like how back in the day, engineers had to like make do with whatever they had and come up with new ideas.
Totally. They had to improvise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's really amazing what these Lego builders can do. But it's not just about like the technical stuff, It's about using those creations to tell stories, to make history come to life.
Right. Totally.
It's like that Lego Churchill crocodile tank post we were talking about before. Remember?
Oh, yeah, the crocodile, wasn't it? The thing was a beast, like in real life, I mean.
Totally. The blog author was saying how back in World War II, the enemy troops would like totally freak out if they even saw a crocodile tank coming at them.
Wow, really? Just the sight of it?
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense, right? It's like the psychological impact of all that military tech, even if it's not like actively firing at you.
Yep.
The crocodile with its flamethrower and everything. It's like it was designed to scare people.
No kidding. It's
Yeah.
amazing how these guys can capture that, that feeling of like, oh crap, that thing's going to mess us up in Lego form.
Totally. It's like shrinking down history, right? You're not just reading about it in some boring textbook.
Right.
You get to like experience it, hold it in your hand almost. Well, not really, but you know what I mean.
Totally. It's way more personal, that's for sure.
And you know what's cool? It's not all about those big epic battles either. Like my Bricks in War, it also shows these smaller moments, stuff that focuses on like individual people and stories.
Oh, you mean like that, what was it called? The 1917 mini MOC? the soldier running through no man's land?
Yes, exactly. I mean, that scene, it's like seared into my brain. Everyone who's seen that movie remembers it. And to think they captured all that tension and emotion with Lego.
I know, right? It's kind of mind-blowing.
Seriously, it shows you how versatile Lego can be. Like, you can tell any kind of story with it if you're creative enough. It makes you wonder, like, what if someone found these creations hundreds of years from now?
Oh, yeah. What would they even think?
Seriously, it'd be like, hey, we were here and this is what we thought was important. This is how we saw the past.
It's a good reminder that history isn't like just dates and names in a book.
Oh, yeah.
It's about like real people and how they felt and the stuff they went through.
100%. And you know what? It's funny. Sometimes exploring that stuff, like the people and emotions, it hits different when it's through something unexpected, like Lego, right?
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, I'm learning about war and tragedy from a toy? But it actually works.
Yeah.
It's like you don't expect it to be so, I don't know, powerful, but it can be.
It really can. You're taking these simple little blocks, something we associate with childhood and play, and you're using them to represent something as complex and often as tragic as war. It makes you look at things differently.
It's like it makes history, I don't know, click in a way that just reading about it never could.
That's the beauty of it. It's not passive learning, right? It's active. You're not just absorbing information, you're creating something. And in that process, you're engaging with the history on a whole other level.
Totally. And you start asking questions, right? Like, how did they do that?
Yeah.
Why did they make that choice? It's like you're putting yourself in their shoes, even if those shoes are like 2 inches tall and made of plastic.
Exactly. And that's where the real learning happens, in my opinion, because it's not about memorizing dates and names. It's about empathy, about understanding the complexities of the past and how those complexities still resonate today.
It's like a bridge, between the past and the present.
100%. And it makes you realize that history isn't just this like fixed thing. It's constantly being interpreted and reinterpreted, and everyone brings their own perspectives and experiences to it.
Speaking of perspectives, there was this one part in my Bricks in War that I thought was really interesting. The author was talking about making this Lego diorama of the Vietnam War.
Okay, Vietnam.
And they were saying how they were having trouble figuring out how to, like, accurately show the jungle environment.
Yeah, I can see how that would be tricky. Lego and jungles don't exactly go hand in hand.
Right. And they actually asked their followers for ideas. Like, hey, how would you guys build this? And they showed some of the solutions people came up with, and they were so creative.
That's awesome. It's like that collaborative spirit we were talking about before. Everyone's in it together, sharing ideas and pushing the limits of what's possible with Lego. It's really inspiring, honestly.
And it's kind of like how it was back then, too, right? Like when they were actually fighting in Vietnam, they had to, like, improvise and use whatever they had on hand.
Exactly. They had to be resourceful, just like these Lego builders are being resourceful with their bricks and pieces.
It shows you that no matter what the time period, people are always finding ways to, like, solve problems and make things work.
Totally. That human ingenuity, it's a powerful force.
It really is. So we've talked a lot about the past today, but it makes you wonder, like, what about the future? What do you think will be the Lego sets of, 50 years from now?
That's a great question. It's hard to say, right? Like, who knows what events will capture people's imaginations in the future?
Yeah.
But I bet you anything, people will still be using Lego to, like, explore history, to connect with the past. It's a timeless medium in a way,
Totally. It's like those little plastic bricks. They hold so much potential.
They really do. And I think that's a good note to end on, don't you think? Like, history isn't just something that happened a long time ago. It's alive, it's all around us, and it's something we can interact with and learn from in so many ways, even through Lego.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
So next time you see a Lego creation, don't just dismiss it as a toy. Take a closer look. You might be surprised by the stories it has to tell.